Hello everyone, welcome to Jamaica 411. Thank you so much for stopping by, for joining me and keeping me company as usual. To my many subscribers and viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and leaving your comments, for sharing, and also for giving the video a thumbs up once you find that you like it, and you seem to like it. And I appreciate it. It gives me encouragement and want me to want to come out here and give you information as usual. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome. Don't be a stranger. Please subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, share as well, and feel free to leave your comments. But I want everyone who is joining me to know that I do appreciate your support tremendously. So now, you must be wondering, what am I coming to you with today? Well, I don't know how my voice is sounding. I am not well pleased. In fact, I'm very displeased. From morning, I've been displeased from watching this painful, I don't know what that was, in Ghana, where the chiefs were apologizing for their miscreant ancestors who sold our foreparents out into, well, slavery. But I will talk to you about that one after I finish this video. But what I'm talking to you about now is yesterday's naming and commissioning of His Majesty Jamaican ship, the Marcus Garvey. It's a ceremony that was held at Port Royal to commission a new Navy ship, or Coast Guard ship. I don't think we have a Navy, a Coast Guard ship. And a number of persons were there, members of the diplomatic corps, the Prime Minister, the leader of the opposition, and of course it was the Governor General's wife who cut the ribbon. And it's always a female that cut the ribbon. I didn't even know until I listened to what was being said by the presenter. Now, why did I choose to bring you this? I wanted to look at something, and you tell me what you think. I want you to tell me what you think about this photograph that you're looking at here. On this side of the ceremony, you have the Prime Minister, that is Lady Allen, and this is Mark Golding. I don't know who was supposed to sit in between them. You have other persons from the diplomatic corps. You see how these people are dressed. On the other side of the ceremony, you have the military officers, as well as the non-commissioned officers and the Navy and the Coast Guard people, and so on. Now, this is supposed to be a national event to commission a Coast Guard vessel. This is supposed to be an event which is supposed to make us proud. This new vessel is named after one of our greatest heroes, Marcus Garvey. Right? Everyone who was invited must have been told what the dress code was. And even if you don't know what the dress code was, it's a formal event, and therefore you must respect the national symbols, and you must respect the country that you represent if you claim that this country is where you were born. Now look at Mark Golding. Look on the man's trousers. Dirty jeans, dirty shoes, and he must have drawn one shirt. I don't even know how that stay. How this look to you? How does this look to you for a man who is sitting in your parliament illegally, the leader of a party, People's National Party of all parties, you know, who was founded by a man of integrity, impeccable dressing, impeccable morals, I don't know what. A man who represented his country in a world war, lost his own brother to the war, and came and eventually joined politics. He was a barrister, he was a lawyer, first-class lawyer. And then he decided that he wanted to serve his country, and he began the People's National Party, went into the election with 18 people representing seats out of the 32. And he won only 4. He did not even win the seat that he was representing. This man that was well known in Jamaica. When the workers were threatening to burn down this country, it was he who suggested to the governor, you must give the people what they want. He advised them to set up a commission and go around and negotiate with the people better work conditions as well as better wages. And he got a substantial increase of wages for those people, right? Because this country was going to go up in flames because of the type of system that we had at the time. It was a system where you elected people from each parish. There was no political party. So there was nobody, even though they knew what it is they wanted. They wanted self-government. They wanted universal adult suffrage. They wanted all sorts of things, including some of the things that Marcus Garvey himself was proclaiming, such as land reform. He was also proclaiming universal adult suffrage. When Marcus Garvey launched his political party on the 9th of September 1929, his manifesto had in it as well a 40-hour work week. Yes, that's where it came from. Marcus Garvey, in his manifesto, called for more technical schools to be built so that our people can be trained. And I said before, land reform. Marcus Garvey was asking for legal aid for the poor. And that was established. I'm not quite sure which government established it. But the legal aid clinic, that is where you have the poor people that have cases before the court, and they can go to the legal aid and get assistance from government assistance, a government paid for attorney, right? As I said before, he asked for technical schools for each parish, land reform, libraries, and civic improvement for parish capitals. And we know we have libraries in every parish, right? He also wanted city status for Montego Bay and Port Antonio. Well, Siaga gave us the city status of Montego Bay, but Port Antonio is still not yet a city. He asked for a national park. He wanted it to set up, though, at Kingston's Racecourse, which is now Heroes Park, if I recall. We have one instead at Emancipation Park in New Kingston, off Oxford Road there, on Halfway Tree Corner. Yes. So these are the things that he asked for. Unfortunately, he was not able to give us because he had left for England. There were some problems and he left for England. And he never returned and he eventually died. So it left up to those politicians that came after to try and get the political party, because even though he set up his political party, he could not get anybody elected. And what it did was to discourage everyone from trying until 1938, when Norman Manley used his political capital, his knowledge, and experience from what happened to Marcus Garvey's party to establish the People's National Party. And but before he went into an election at all, he was insisting that they give to us universal adult suffrage, which we eventually got in 1944 through the Moynes Commission. See, the mistake that Marcus Garvey made was that he was trying to get those persons who were voters at that time in the 1920s to vote for his idea that we should have persons voting once they reach the age of 21. Don't matter whether they are male or female, you reach 21, you should have the right to vote. That meant that those persons would see their privilege and their feeling of being special eroded, because in those days, before universal adult suffrage, you could only vote if you either own land or pay 10 shilling in tax if you're a man, £1 in tax if you're a female, 21 and over for men, 25 and over for female, and you could read and write. Those were the criteria to vote. And it was a very tiny portion of the population who qualified at all. So when Marcus Garvey came and said, look, I want to start my political party. This is what Jamaica needs. It needs organized politics, because they could not get anything done. There was no organized politics. Everybody went to represent their parish. And even though they wanted self-government, and even though they wanted a whole heap of things, they couldn't agree because there was no organized party. And Marcus Garvey said, that's what we need. So in 1929, he set up his, 1929, right? And he came with these nice proposals. But the persons who were supposed to vote his candidates in, which would now allow them to carry out these proposals, these policies that he was coming with, was against their own interest. And so he failed. Norman Manley now, figure it out, he and his boys, yeah? The ones that met at the, what they call it? Drumblair, right? He and the Drumblair crew. After he was convinced by a group of workers at the dock, they were trying to convince him to go into politics, and he said no. But when they locked up Bustamante in May of 1938, and he realized that there were no leaders, he had to step in and represent the workers. Otherwise, the thing would get out of control, So he went to address the dock workers that night. And those dock workers were unique, because when they were considering striking, they decided that they wanted William Grant, I think his name was, to represent them. They went to William Grant. William Grant said, "Don't worry yourself, man, I've the right man for you." So they agreed to meet. And when William Grant took the man, it was Bustamante. And you know what the dock worker said? "Oh, where you go with this a white man? We don't want a white man around here so for represent you. Go on with him." And William Grant said, "Nah, man, just listen to the man, no, man. Don't worry about him color, man. Just listen to him." And he was able to convince them to give Bustamante a hearing. They never want a white man there. That was the difference between those particular workers and the other workers, right? Buster eventually spoke to them and then became convinced and decided to have him represent them. And then he was locked up. So when Norman Manley went there that evening to talk to them, to tell them, "Don't worry yourself, man, I'm going to try and get Buster out of jail," right? In the course of addressing these men of the docks that evening, he told them what the solution to Jamaica's problem is. He said what we need is organized politics. And he explained to them how that would benefit them, especially universal adult suffrage, how they would now be able to vote, and so on and so forth. Now, those men who have a problem with the white people, when they heard that, they understood exactly what universal adult suffrage would mean. It meant that just by dipping them finger in that ink, if that is what they used to do in those days, and casting the ballot, when the ballots are counted that night, the power would shift immediately from the white man to the black man, and they never had to fling a rock stone after anybody. Overnight, the power would shift. They understood, and when they heard what Norman said, poor Norman never even know he was making a connection. He did not know it was before the right group of people, right, who wanted to get rid of the white people. No one a white man around here about them come represent you. That was the attitude of those men. He was before the right crowd. And when they heard him and when they realized what the man was saying, them said to him, "Boss, you go start the party. Start that party and we will support you." Can you imagine now, man, I'm frightened? It's like when they were reporting, I think it was Rex Neckleford in that little booklet that he did. Can't remember the name of it now. I'm sure Princess will tell you in the comment section. When I find out, I will pin it. He was in a dazed going home. He was dazed. And he went home and he sat down, and his wife, I think they're drinking them coffee or them tea, whatever they were drinking that night underneath one tree at Drumblair. And he called her E. And he said, E. And he said to her, I think we should embark on this journey, but it's going to change our lives forever. And E, that is his wife, Edna, listened to him and endorsed what he said and said, yes, let us do it. And that was how he decided that he was going to get into the political arena. He was going to set up a political party. And he must have been, I can imagine he went into his study with his pipe and was writing all the names of persons, because, they used to come and discuss politics and all kind of world events and things are happening in Jamaica. So he would know which men, and females that he wanted, or he think he could approach, who would join him in this movement. And he probably sit down and wonder what name he should call it, and he put on with the name and everything, and so on and so forth. And then first chance he got, he announced to the press that they were going to establish this party. And it was, I believe, if I remember correctly, the 29th of May, 1938. Now, why do I bring up all of this history? I bring up all of this history to show you where we are coming from, how far we are coming from with the starting of the People's National Party, and how the cleverness of Norman Manley was able to overcome the problem that Marcus Garvey faced when he tried to establish his political party. Norman Manley realized he could not have gotten anything that he wanted or any support that he wanted from the present crop of voters. He knew that he needed the wider Jamaica, because these policies that Marcus Garvey was proposing, it was his idea as well in terms of what he really thinks that should be done, right? And these policies that Marcus was proposing sounded to them like socialist policies. So eventually the People's National Party declared itself at its annual conference in 1940 a socialist party. 4 years after that, we had the Moyne Commission, and the decision was made that Jamaica would have universal adult suffrage going forward. A constitution was drafted with Norman Manley working on it, and the first election was held, if I recall right, in 1945. Buster by that time was out of jail, and he started the Jamaica Labour Party in 1943 as the opposing party. So we now have a two-party system, which is what the constitution that we had developed, a Westminster type two-party system. So that's a struggle for us to march towards independence. Now, that day when universal adult suffrage was declared and the Constitution drafted and passed by the Assembly, I suppose it was, right? It was a historic day. I want you to remember this, I'm a fellow Jamaicans. Listen to me good. That was a historic day. Jamaica became the first non-white country in this entire world to have instituted universal adult suffrage. The first one. And I want you to know something too, because there's a reason why you see them Africans, they love call up with name and but that thing says Bob Marley. This thing start from. It actually started from long time and continued into the 1930s and 40s with Norman Manley, our own Jamaican national hero. And everybody should be proud, because it was when the other countries who were being dominated by these damn Europeans realized what's going on in Jamaica. Just like the dock workers that evening in 1938, May 13, they realized, my goodness, this is the way out. This is our salvation. This is our way out of the clutches of these white people. We, after all, have the majority. We need adult suffrage as well, so that we don't have to fling no stone after nobody. We just go and vote, and bam, like that, the power gone. Right? Just like when JPS turn off light, you see the light go off instantly. That's how fast the power would go. And so all of the countries in the world, in Africa, all over, were demanding elections. And we do that. Big up on yourself and feel proud. And we do that. But you see, we never realize the impact that we had. That's why when you see them African countries get them independence, one of the first places and come is Jamaica, come shake off with hand. And we, the newer generation, well, me kinda the older generation, right? My generation, the media houses, none of the media houses today. I bet you it's the first you're hearing this. You see, that's why you must come to Jamaica 401. Go to Natalie at Jamaica Politics Uncovered and University and go listen to Karen. Right? We study history. We is telling you now that it is we and our people. Norman Manley, Jamaican. Don't worry about the politics. He was a Jamaican before he was a politician. He's a Jamaican. So all of we can feel proud. Right? It was our people that showed the world the way how to achieve them independence. And the Europeans had no leg to stand on because they were there touting democracy all over the place. They were talking about, no, then I want totalitarian this and totalitarian that, and we just take it and fling it back in them face. That's what Norman Manley did. Fling it in them face and said, we want to vote. How them figure say no. And eventually they had to pull up shop. They eventually arranged other means of control. And then they hand over the keys and go about them business. Right? Well, them sort of go about them business and still about and about the place. But I am telling all of that to tell you where we are coming from. And why we never had to have a bloody revolution to get rid of these white people. And now we have this man, a relic of the colonial past, prims up into a parliament illegally. Nobody seemed to be willing to move him yet. Prims up into a parliament and come into a national function, dressing like, I don't even know what. What is he dressed like? This is worse than Heng Pan Nail. Huh? Look at the man in them dirty jeans. This man is a national disgrace. He has no respect for anything. He has no respect for nobody. You think it's joke? You look at this. You really think it's joke, right? You take a look at this. Look at this photo. This is the man at his son's graduation. Look how the boy looks sweet and nice. You know how much money he spent for that suit? Look how him look snazzy. The wife try her best and look on the man stand up beside him picnic. The man is a... Look here, I was going to say him is a damn disgrace, but I'm not going to say it. Him is a national disgrace. And this is how low the People's National Party has sunk. It coming from the heights of integrity. Heights of integrity and decorum. And this is what it has come to. This is what the People's National Party has been reduced to. And it is all because of its membership. First, it was its delegates. Its delegates that seem unable to discern anything in a man's character. And it culminated with the members of parliament. This is what they have representing them. This is what they have confidence in. A national disgrace. A man who has no respect for anything nor anybody, not even himself. You know, out of other people have a way to say, especially our men, when they're ready for mouth off on we women, that after 6 o'clock, every woman turn fool. Right? I don't know what happened to this man after 6 o'clock. But it seems as if he's hyped up on some medication. Let's call it that way. Or maybe worse. This is the man. You look at him when he's doing any recording at home, how the man look. Like him high on something. Look how the man look like them little ragamuffin. Same want to represent people. He doesn't know what a representative is. The first thing is, Jamaican people are like nobody will dress worse than them to represent them. Him no look and see what we other leaders them look like. Him no look and see what Norman Manley look like, what Michael Manley look like. You never see Portia. You no look pan Siaga. You no look pan Bruce and Shira. What has he been doing all his life apart from making money? Huh? Him not paying attention. Him is a dunce. All this while he has not been paying attention. Him not see what leaders them look like. Him ever say none of them look like and dress like him? And him turn up to our national event where our dignitaries were present, our Prime Minister, the wife of the Governor General, and members of the diplomatic corps, and it never occurred to him that this was a pomps and pride ceremony, just like when you're going into the parliament. When you're going into the parliament, when parliament open a year time, so everybody dress up and look sweet and nice. It never occurred to him. And this is what the People's National Party is putting forward and telling we, so we must go vote for this. This is what we must vote for. Uno mad. Uno not righted at all. Uno have no respect for the Jamaican people. All uno want to see. As I told one of your members, right? As I told one of your prominent members, if Satan himself did leave out of hell and come present himself as a People's National Party president, and all our own inside here, I talk about an MP and leaders that people should be voting for, and some of you deserve to be voted for, right? But even you who deserve to be voting for, all of you sit down there, and Satan will be the leader of the People's National Party. And as long as him telling you or Uno believes that him can get to in a Jamaica house, Uno will keep Satan there to deceive the people and lie to the people and run this country. Because Uno have no damn integrity. No integrity at all. All Uno want is power. Why Uno want power so badly? Because Uno want to rescue Jamaica? And have Satan there run the party? Because Satan can get you in a Jamaica house. Uno good with that? Which one of the 14 of you have any integrity? To have this piece of disgrace representing the People's National Party. The delegates put in there, the delegates want to get rid of the damn man and can't get an opportunity because the whole of one is there. Because one think say, what? What one think say? One afraid of Bunting? No need for afraid of Bunting. Bunting is a sweet little angel. One afraid of him. If I look like all the laborites, I'm afraid of him. For what reason, I don't know. One afraid of Bunting for? What Bunting can do when nobody else can do to him. Talk to me and tell me. Anyway, I've ranted enough. Thank you so much for listening to me. And thank you for your time. Please remember to share, subscribe, like the video, and leave your comments. Until next time, please take good care of yourself and walk good.